My son's teacher is forcing me to invite 72 people to his birthday party because that's her rule. So I got this call at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. Ms. Goldbaum introduces herself as Eli's teacher and asks if I'm aware he's been handing out birthday invitations at school. I said, yeah, he's turning 7 next month and invited 5 of his friends from class. There's this pause. Then she says, I'm calling because there's a school policy you may not be aware of. If students invite classmates to outside events, they must invite the entire class. I laughed because I thought she was joking. When she didn't laugh back, I said, wait, you're serious? This is at my house, not the school. I can invite whoever I want. She goes into this speech about inclusion and how children's feelings get hurt when they're excluded. I told her, look, I get that, but there are 24 kids in that class. If even half their parents come with them, that's 36 people minimum, probably closer to 50. My house has 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. That's just not realistic. She wasn't backing down. Mr. Hughes, this policy exists for good reason. We've had incidents where excluded children experience significant emotional distress. I asked her if Eli invited kids from other classes too, which he did. So do I need to invite those entire classes as well? Because that's another 48 kids. Those students aren't under my supervision, she said, but Eli's classmates are, and this is my rule for my classroom. That's when I started getting annoyed. Your supervision ends when the school day ends. This party is on Saturday at my house. You don't get to make rules for what I do in my own home. She actually raised her voice. If it involves my students and my classroom dynamics, then yes, I absolutely do have authority here. We went back and forth for another 5 minutes. She kept saying things like, I've been teaching for 15 years and I know what's best, and you need to respect my professional judgment. Finally, I snapped, lady, it's pretty clear you're too used to bossing around 6-year-olds who have to listen to you. You don't seem to understand that your little kingdom ends when that bell rings at 3:15. You don't get to extend your authority into people's homes. She threatened to document this as exclusionary behavior on Eli's record and said it could affect his participation in class activities. I hung up, furious, but then I had an idea. The next morning, I showed up at the school with a box. I asked to see Ms. Goldbaum and the principal. In the office, I handed Ms. Goldbaum the box and said, you're absolutely right about inclusion. I'm inviting everyone. I'd printed 72 invitations, 1 for every kid in the entire 1st grade. The party would be at Chuck E. Cheese, and I'd rented out the whole venue. Ms. Goldbaum looked confused, but pleased. Well, I'm glad you came around to understanding the importance of. Then I handed her the 2nd page. Oh, and since you insisted this was your rule to make, I figured you'd want to be involved. The party is Tuesday at 9 a.m. during school hours. I expect all 72 kids to attend since you said they must all be included. The principal's face went completely white. You can't schedule a party during school time. I smiled. Why not? Ms. Goldbaum said if it involves her students, she has authority over it. I'm just following her logic. She made this rule, so surely she'll support pulling 72 kids out of class for 3 hours. Ms. Goldbaum started stammering. That's not, I didn't mean, you're disrupting their education. Oh, so now you care about disruption. Interesting, because yesterday you told me your rules apply to my private family events. I'm just extending that same logic. If you can control what happens at my house, surely I can schedule school-related social events during school time, right? The principal cut in. Mr. Hughes, I think there's been a misunderstanding about our policy. No misunderstanding. I have the entire phone call recorded. Ms. Goldbaum was very clear that she has authority over social events involving her students, regardless of where or when they occur. So either that's true, and this Tuesday party is happening, or it's not true, and she needs to stay out of my family's private business. There was dead silence. Finally, Ms. Goldbaum quietly said, the Saturday party is fine. Just the 5 children Eli invited. I gathered up all 72 invitations, smiled, and walked out. She never mentioned the inclusion policy again.